Welcome back, guys. Time to get to tearing this thing apart and making it my own truck. Okay, guys, we made it back to the shop. And we're gonna work on getting this front bumper off here because it's been up. We've got a brand new 22-inch drop bumper coming with a bumper flip kit too. So hopefully that's up here in the next couple days, but we gotta get this bumper off first. Ooh, that don't sound good. And that sound was coming from right here where this bumper was bent recently when Eric was loading it. You can see the bracket he made is bent up right there. And it's hitting these fenders whenever it folds over. So, we're gonna have to trim this up and get this bumper off. All right. Getting these bumper bolts loose. You know, I'm looking at this truck. It was definitely built right. Eric did a lot of cool stuff, but like if we ever go to replace this grill, we're gonna have to replace the whole aluminum front clip on the actual hood, because see where it's been drilled into? Or not drilled, but it had all these huck rivets put into it. And you know what? It looks like the front of this truck actually isn't even aluminum, it's stainless. So the whole front grille in this thing is stainless. So the chances of us changing the grill are probably pretty slim on this unless we replace the whole hood. And the hood's got some cracks in it here and there. I want to show you guys everything we're finding wrong with this truck. I'm not blaming anything on Eric whatsoever. It's got some issues. It runs and works fine, don't get me wrong, but I'd like to fix a lot of things on it to make it, you know, as perfect as possible. So we're going to start doing all that stuff one by one, and we're going to show you everything I find the issues with this thing here in a couple minutes. Yeah, this thing, I don't know, we need to see if it's magnetic. Well, I guess, you know, it comes magnetic or whatever, but he definitely put a whole new front grille on this thing. And you can see welds on the inside of it from the backside, so I'm wondering if this thing is stainless. I don't know. But anyhow, we're gonna get these two loose right there, and the bumper should fall right off. All right, let's see what we got here. Bada bing, beep bop boop. Gonna walk you for the win because Snap-on is trash. All right, only one more and this thing should fall off. Maybe it's not just gonna fall off. This thing probably weighs a freaking ton because it's all steel. So, oh, it's not too bad. Yeah, it really is a shame that it got tore up because Eric spent a ton of time making this thing and it just got bent. And there really isn't any trying to straighten that without messing something up. So, anywho, front bumper's off of it. It looks ugly now. I mean, it looked ugly with the bumper being bent up that was on there, but now it just looks naked. We've got a brand new 22-inch bumper that's dropped. It's 22 inches in the center, and it's a 2-inch taper on each side. It's a 20-inch, and a bumper flip kit, so that whenever we wanted to keep the 20, this is a 21-inch, we're going to drop a little bit more. But when we go to load it on trailers and stuff like that, we'll be able to flip the bumper up, or pull it over, something crazy. We'll be able to flip it up out of the way. So it should work out. So I guess we need to drag this bird out of the way and grab that side and pull it over on the side. So this thing's got all kinds of freaking, looks like some kind of a, this is probably the factory headlight wiring if I had to guess, yep. He put a resistor in here, probably to keep it from blinking too fast. Some of this is probably for like the headlights, stuff like that, which we're putting regular headlights back on it. We're gonna have to wire that stuff up. So that's gotta be what all this is like the factory headlight wiring. Right here, yep. Come out of your hole, there we go. I'm sure it's not gonna work after being bent like that for forever. This must be the headlight wiring for the other side. So weird, we've been working on such a clean truck, the Strider Taxi, all brand new and stuff, and
now there's all this dirt all over the
working on
ground
this
suddenly.
grease. We might get kicked out of the semi-casual shop for getting their floor all dirty. Oh boy. But anywho, there's a solenoid right here. And you see, I guarantee that this thing had a bumper flip kit on it before. And if everything works out, this may work again. Or no, this has some, oh, I know what this is. Eric was telling me about this. This is the burnout switch.
Oh, to lock the front brakes.
So he was telling me you press the brake down, hold it, flick the switch, and that locks the front brakes in. So it's like an air solenoid here. So whenever you press them down, it holds brake pressure on the front brakes so you can let off. And it holds brake pressure. So that's what that is. But all this is all fine and dandy and all, but I would really like to make all this
not a rat's nest.
Well, just mount it, you know, make it nicer. Do something with the wiring right here. And I think we can definitely clean all this up. And it's right underneath the radiator, which it smells like the radiator may be leaking a little bit. And it is from 1984. So that's something to keep in mind. If the radiator's dripping a little bit, you know, it's really not the end of the world, but it's something we are gonna have to fix eventually, so.
It's not like we're driving thousands of miles with this truck.
Maybe we can find someone to send us a freaking radiator. So if anybody knows any good radiator companies, it will, you can see right here, come here, you can show them. Where it's kind of bubbling. Right there, see where the seal is kind of going bad?
Oh yeah.
Right there on the bottom tank. So maybe it wouldn't hurt for us to find a new radiator slapping this bird, but burnout solenoid, that's what that is. We're gonna be putting some different headlights on it, some factory style headlights. So we'll probably keep these on here. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, I don't know. We've gotta kind of decide the look we wanna go with the truck. We wanna keep it black for this year. Towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, we're gonna paint this thing blue to match all the rest of the trucks. But for now, we're gonna roll with the black theme for now, but we wanna get some regular headlights put on it so we can drive it down the highway and stuff like that, make it street legal. So we'll have street legal, like 2,000 horsepower pull truck, hopefully in the next couple months. We do some bigger injectors, cam, turbo, and all that good stuff. So yeah, for now, we need to pile this up, mount it, make it look good. back up here today. We got the tractor taxi hooked up the trailer because Aaron and I are going up to Kentucky to pick up a John Deere 6105D or M tractor loader that I bought. We're gonna carry back home to Florida and sell it. And I'm gonna be kind of taking you guys along that journey of, this would be the one tractor we might show you guys what we buy it for and what we sell it for and everything about it. But for now, we're gonna get back started on the business expense, the pulling truck. So as most of you know, like I was telling you guys, he pulled with it in non-sanctioned events where there's not really any rules. You kind of show up, pull, and have a good time. Well, unfortunately, we've got to change a lot to make this thing safe and legal for the tractor pull we're going to be doing. And one of the things we've got to do is put a guillotine in front of this turbo, which means these factory air intakes are going to go away. It's just going to be open air. We could put an air filter on it, but it's just not going to work. So we're going to put an open air turbo on it. And this turbo still, honestly, might not even do the job either because we've got to put a guillotine on it. If we can't find one to go in the front of this turbo we've got right now, we're gonna have to change the turbo. But for now, we're gonna yank this air intake system off of it. We're gonna leave these on here for now, I guess, just for looks. Or we may end up putting a plug inside here, some kind of a black plug. I'm not sure yet, just something to make where it looks good. But we're gonna get rid of these air filters and put old school air cleaners like what are on the tractor taxi eventually. But for now, we just got to get this thing legal so we can go sled pulling with it without spending too much money getting her there. So let's get this air intake system off of it. And I know this is an S588 SXE 588 Ford Warner turbo from the part number I read. I just don't know if it's got any aftermarket compressor wheel in it or not or anything like that. We're gonna find all that out right now when we start taking all this intake system off of it. All right, let's get this off the front of the turbski. Trying to save these clamps. These boys are hard to come by right here. I tell you what, look at this turbo. Yeah, kind of like what I figured. It's just a factory like box turbo cast wheel. They're not cheap, but they're not the most expensive turbo. It definitely works. Can they see in here the wheel? It's a cast wheel, not a billet wheel or anything like that, or a forged wheel. So it's gonna make some ponies, but not enough. Like we want to run like a 4.1 inch turbo, which is literally a wheel. It's 4.1 inches, not an 88 millimeter, which is what that is. So much bigger turbo coming in the future for this thing, but we're gonna see about getting a guillotine. And what that does is if the engine was to run away or something went crazy, like I passed out in the cab, the sled operator from the back could pull a cable, and that cable would let this big old thing just go and cut the air off going to the diesel engine, because as most of you may know, diesel engines,
They can have a runaway.
a runaway, yes. So the only way to stop them is to stop air from going in that engine and creating power. So we've got to put one of those on there for safety purposes. But for now, we're going to get this bird torn apart. Look at that. That's just kind of sitting there. Ain't even hooked up to nothing. Well, we'll do away with that too. But for now, let's get this intake system on here. There's one side. I'll go to the other side, take the hose pipe loose. All right, so Eric custom built this intake system out of the aluminum here because of that hood stack right here. So we don't want to throw it away, but we're honestly like never ever going to use it again. So we're getting this stuff off of here, and eventually, maybe when we get it back home, we're not in a shop full of nice pretty show trucks. We're gonna spray paint this cowl and get rid of all that white and just paint it black and take some propel power to it, get it good and clean, and kind of clean up the under hood look. Because this thing could definitely look a lot nicer with just a couple rattle cans of black spray paint. One intake removed. Now look at that, it like makes it look at the engine so much cleaner too, you know.
Without that heavy bumper and this, big old intake, we should
We're
have a
gonna
little
be
bit of
doing
weight
wheelies
savings.
going down the track too, boy. We're still putting a bumper back on it, so we're not saving a ton of weight, but all this is gonna look much, much different. And I wanna clean up some of the wiring and stuff, get rid of some of this old stuff that, we should go sort through pretty quick and decide whether it should still be here or it shouldn't be here. And just clean out the look of the truck, He did a really awesome job building it, and it works, but we're going to be doing YouTube videos, we're gonna be doing shows, stuff like that. So we want to be able to open the hood and be like, dang, that's kind of nice engine bay, stuff like that for being a 1984 truck. So got lots of things I'd like to clean up and make look like new again. And maybe we need to do a service on it. We talked to our friends over at Hot Shots Secret. There we go, I had to remember the name. And they're gonna be loading us up with all new fluids, oils, coolant, everything we could ever need for this truck to get it in tip-top shape with fresh fluids. So, and I'd like to put some bigger injectors in it, but for now we may just have to work with what we got. So they've got some brake lines on here where I can see maybe at one point, whenever the tuning was going on with this thing, where you can measure some exhaust back pressure right there. But there's no pyrometer hooked up, so we definitely want to get a pyro for this thing. It looks like it's got some kind of a full tilt manifold. Maybe that's what that is. Maybe you guys can tell me what manifold that is. I don't think it's a PDI, because usually the PDI manifolds have a big PDI cast into them, but I can't see. That says 544. I'm not sure what I think it's full tilt, because I see like a little speedometer looking thing there. So I think it's a full tilt manifold on there. Some other things we can definitely see about getting rid of is like the AC compressor. That thing's just spinning away on there for no reason, because we can do away with that, put some shorter belts on it, and run literally just the alternator, which we want an alternator for charging, and run that ECM to keep good voltage to it. And it's got a fast fuel system, you can see sitting down in there. So maybe we need to get a hold of fast, because that's one of their old school boys in there with the red anodized pump on top of it, so they can see it right there. And get an updated fast fuel system for it. And in Florida, we're not gonna need this block heater anymore. So lots of things that can go that aren't needed for what we're gonna be doing with it, and just to clean it up. So we've got a bumper that'll be here in a few days, waiting on the bumper, but for now, maybe we can start cleaning some of this stuff up and getting our Bruce Wilson. So remember how I was talking about us putting the pyrometer in it? Well, it does have one right here in the hood stack itself. Can they see that okay? Pyrometer is supposed to be in the manifold up here pre-turbo, because we want to know how hot that exhaust is coming right out of the engine before it flows into this turbo. So when it's back up here, you may not think it's that big of a deal, but it drops a few hundred degrees realistically before it comes out of that engine and to where it gets right there. So we want to know at the hottest point where to monitor that. So that's what we want to know. We've got some oil leakage up here. We need to address maybe a valve cover gasket, because we don't have this thing having any leaks. It needs to be in pristine tip-top shape. Like some of these valves right here on the engine where they're for like an old heater or something. We don't really need a heater in this thing, so, and we don't want to risk blowing hot coolant or something inside there in the cab on me. So we need to get some pipe plugs whenever we go to do all the service on the radiator. We want to plug all this stuff off, because there's no need for any of it with sled pulling we're going to be doing. So that's just a couple more things we can get rid of. We'll go ahead and pull this block heater off. We don't need that. All this wiring kind of ugly, just tied up in here. We're never gonna do anything with that. If we ever do go to like a really high horsepower, like C15 or something like that, we're gonna put oil pan heaters on it, which heats the oil up in the engine pan. The block heater is never gonna be really cold enough around here in Florida where we're gonna be at sled pulling, where we need to worry about heating the coolant inside the engine. So I found some more wires right here that don't go to anything. And if I'm gonna put something on here, like some kind of other accessory, I want it to be like brand new and fresh. So we're not gonna be using any of these wires that are just chilling, going to nothing. So we'll pull all these back across the top of the dash here and get rid of those. You can see like this is part of an old AC line system here. This right here is part of the old AC. So let's work on getting the old AC system off that dash over there. And then maybe we can re-zip tie some of this stuff up in a little bit nicer fashion. Clean it up with some fresh zip ties. I know none of this matters, but we can't really do anything until we get the new bumper here and flip kit. And we get it back home to really do the safety stuff we've got to do. So for now, we can just cut it up, clean it up with what we got to work with. All right, so I'm perched up here on top of this here engine, because it's a big boy. And this is all the stuff for the AC system here. So we get all these zip ties cut, put some fresh boys on there, get her looking nice. That is an air line. That right there goes to the fan. That's what that turns on, is the fan there. So we don't want to cut any of those wires. But this copper tube here, we want to get rid of, or brass tube, whatever it is, where the old AC system needs to go. So we'll get all these wires cut off of it. We're gonna need looks like an 11 millimeter there. Actually, hand me that. There. Thank you, sir. Let's get this right here cut a little bit shorter. This Here's a low pressure line. I used to go to the AC. About to have a whole mess on the floor of all this stuff. Boom, just like that. She should slide out of there carefully without messing up all these other wires that are kind of like entangled with it. Well, that goes to something important. Oh, the air line. So still a little bit of air left in the system on the truck. Dang, see, just getting rid of that changes the look completely. Here, set that one, I'll throw it on the concrete. We'll get all of this air line detangled from all these wires here. And that boy right there.
It's crazy how easy that is to slip in and out of stuff, but
What's that?
that airline,
Yeah, right?
you know, it holds so much pressure, but it just slides right out.
So here's your horn wire. I guess we can leave that mount there. Maybe we can put a fire extinguisher there one day. We can go ahead and pull these hose clamps off. They're kind of ugly anyway, so get rid of those. All right. Get out of your home. That wire doesn't go to anything, so that can go over there. This one goes somewhere up in the dash. We want to keep those because I don't know what they go to quite yet. That dang air compressor. This right here is more of the factory AC stuff. I don't think that was going to be doing much.
No.
Old relay.
Oh my gosh.
So we don't really care about any of the factory AC anymore because we're going freaking high horsepower sled pulling. And we don't need any of this here crap.
I mean, you're going to be in a fire suit anyway, so
I know,
you might as well
right?
feel like you're on fire.
Should I go ahead and just cut the wires here, you think? We don't need them.
Yeah, it's up to you. Just don't cut that white one
in
intertangled.
We don't want to cut that all the way down because that goes inside the cab to control the air AC, the fan on the front of the engine. We want these because that goes to the inside there from the wiper motor. This goes to our horn. So we got quite the mess on the ground here of all the stuff we've ripped off this truck. And Aaron was in the restroom. While he was doing that, I've got the dash tidied up here up top as much as possible with some zip ties and got rid of all the stuff that's on the ground there. And then I've been right here fixing a lot of wires, and there's been a lot of stuff over the years where someone's added something to the trailer, what looks like the trailer harness and hood harness. I'm not familiar with all this stuff, so don't judge me too much. But like these were in lots of places where there was a wire kicker coming off here. There was stuff where it's been added and done away with, and I found that a lot of these wires just literally led to nothing. So what I did is I spliced them back together with some good butt connectors that heat shrink down there to seal them up. And we're gonna tie all this stuff back together real nice and put some wire loom back over all of this. And just kind of tidying up, like right here's another thing. I think this goes down to the air dryer from the best I can tell. But just trying to clean all this stuff up, and I'm doing the best I can. So I'm gonna get some wire loom and put over all this right here. And I think there's some left over from Bill Rethwich's truck when they built that thing. And we'll be getting this thing looking fresh again. Looking good. It's good. Okay guys, so we've got some more wiring hidden and cleaned up. We've got this main harness right here cleaned up the best I could. Just kind of putting lipstick on a pig, if you ask me, but we're getting it all cleaned up. And then whenever we do go to just paint underneath the hood, we'll just spray over all of this because a lot of the wires will be hidden. All the colored wires won't be painting over them anymore. It's just gonna look like $1 million. So these are all cleaned up. I've got a piece right here trimmed up. We're gonna put right over there on that side. I just gotta unbolt these loom holders here, or these like metal hose clamp dealios. And we'll put this over there, and then we should be about buttoned up, clean, de-junking underneath side of this hood for now. We need to get a new hood rubber there. Maybe we can put a piece of zip tie on there for now. That'll take care of that. And we'll see about getting some new stuff. So got this side all tied up and tidied. Got our new wire loom put across there. I put it back in these metal hose clamps and cleaned that up right there. Like I said, we're probably, once we get all the new fluids from Hot Shots, we're gonna be getting rid of all these coolant fittings and stuff like that and go into a lot cleaner setup. But what do you think? Does that look a lot better up there on the dash? Just looks like what's there is needed and what's not there isn't there.
It's less of a rat's nest up at the top, that's for sure.
The only thing I'm worried about is whenever you work on these old trucks and touch wires, is it
Will
might
it
not
start again?
So it might not start after I've just got done finger messing with all these things. So let's cross our fingers that this thing is going to start back up.
I guess we have a will it start video right now. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I guess in a way, yeah, we sure do. So after this, I guess, well, let's go ahead and close the hood on it, and we still need to button up those front hoses and wiring hanging underneath the hood there, because you can see right here where we've got a random ground wire. I guess, should we go ahead and get rid of that boy? All these just random wires everywhere. Oh, you know what that is? It's probably the ground for the hood. Guaranteed. Yeah, well, we gotta put a new ground on the hood. We'll put one on it when it comes to it, but anyhow, we got all this stuff that just needs to be cleaned up, and that radiator is leaking. It's like seeping almost. So we're definitely have to do something with the radiator. So comment down below, guys. We need your help. Where can I find a good, I want a brand new, I don't want to rebuild anything like that. I'd almost say we don't need a giant radiator like this, but I want to go street drive this thing, drive it to shows and do all kinds of cool stuff. And we can't go with just a tiny radiator if we're only going to be sled pulling, because we're not only going to be sled pulling, we're going to be doing everything. So where can we go get a really good brand new radiator at to take care of this issue? Wow, yeah, if we get rid of those belts right there, that's just going to clean up the engine completely. That'll make a big difference. All right, let's close the hood down and see about fixing some wires up in front. Another thing I want to do is this hood stack. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but my buddy Randy Davis over at Old School Fab makes carbon fiber hood stacks. And I've had one on my drag truck from like, was that my drag truck? My drag
Yeah, you
truck.
had one on a few drag trucks.
On a drag truck first. I thought it was on a pulling trip, but my drag truck in like 2016, and then it's the one that we see on the Flatty, then on the Flat Nasty, the Mega Truck, and it's still on the hood. And we plan on putting it on the other Flat Nasty little two-wheel drive burnout truck, but I want to get one for this. This one's kind of like flopping around. You can see right here where it was welded to the hood, and it's kind of like popped loose. So I think a carbon fiber one with some rivets all the way around this thing would look just absolutely like the cat's meow. So we need to get one of them boys ordered up. Oh, actually, speaking of that, Randy, I messaged him. He's like, you need to measure the stack. Send me the measurement. So we need to measure.
There's a few measuring tapes over on the.
Okay, I'm gonna go get one. All right, so we've got a 7-inch stack that way and a 9-inch. I'm just kidding. 7 inches in diameter. That's what we got. So we need to get Randy to make us a hood stack for a 7-inch hole. And it'll have like a little flare kicker down here so we can rivet all the way around it. You guys watched my earlier videos, you know what I'm talking about. It's gonna look freaking good. So, guess carbon fiber hood stack for this boy. Okay, so I found why this valve was hanging is there's a bolt actually broke off, so I remounted it. I left it a little loose so there wasn't a chance of it possibly breaking again. And I'm tying these wires back up because there's really nothing we can do with the headlight wiring until we get headlights for it. So to tie all the stuff back up, I've kind of rerouted this burnout valve here, so this stuff will be tied up and ready for a bumper and whenever it shows up next couple days.
Oh, this thing's just wrapped.
Huh?
This thing's just wrapped.
No, it's
paint.
It's just
No, dude. There's no way. Is that paint?
It's just big paint. Are you sure? I'm positive.
Yeah,
See
because
it
it's
here?
cracking on the other side a little bit.
Wow. That's some thick, thin paint.
I used some of the billable wiring stuff and
Yeah.
cleaned all that up and got rid of a bunch of crap that was up there.
Looks better.
There was a ton of wires that were like cut and spliced and they ran down there and then it went to nothing.
Nowhere.
So I just cut them, put them back together.
Does it still run?
I don't know.
We don't know. We're about to figure that out.
You're just gonna see
I was
if it
like,
runs.
you know how you like pull a wire on something old?
Yeah,
And
you
it like doesn't work anymore, so I guess we should try it.
you look at it funny, like something goes wrong. Oh,
It's
fuel
got a
pump
fast
works.
fuel pump on it.
It does? Nice.
Yeah. It's old, but it's there. I guess I better hold the button down a little way.
There you go.
That's good. We're gonna back it out and sweep up so you can continue about y'all's work day tomorrow. And then hopefully that bumper shows up here sometime.
You ordered one?
Yeah, bumper and the flip kit, I had it shipped here, so.
Okay.
We gotta find a radiator. It's leaking on the bottom of the. It's not leaking on the ground, but you can see it seeping.
It's gonna, yeah.
So
This is a matter of time for it like finishes whatever
I'm sure
crack
it's
it's got.
like the oldest, like original. They come together. So maybe we can find a different
I
radiator.
kind of wonder if we have anything like that just as a junkyard or something.
What y'all have a
Like,
junkyard?
you just might as well.
Oh.
There's not a lot down
You think
there.
there's any? I wonder if those are similar to the what stuff they put in the gliders. Maybe they got a new one over there somewhere and just get from you guys instead of buying somewhere else.
We might. We might.
I'll carry it home with me. I talked to Hot Shot Secret, so they're gonna send me all fluids and stuff for it. So
Change everything over, yeah.
we'll do the radiator whenever I do first pull it.
Yeah.
I want to get rid of the heater hoses. We don't need those. So,
Yeah, I mean, you might as well pull the compressor off and like.
yeah, I'm
figure
gonna
out
get rid of the AC
everything.
compressor and do shorter belts on it. We were literally just talking about that. Well, that's a wrap for our first day working on business expense pulling truck. That boy is going to be looking fresh with a new flip bumper on the front of it. It's got a little tiny oil leak. Maybe we'll take a look at that. But you know what? If it ain't leaking oil, it ain't got none in it. Hope you guys are pumped as I am for this new series with the business expense pulling truck. Our first pull is going to be the end of February at the Ocala Truck and Tractor Pull, or I'm sorry, end of January, Ocala Truck and Tractor Pull. The closer we get to it, I'll be dropping some more info. We'll be at the Zellwood Truck and Tractor Pull. It's like the first weekend of February. So lots of pulls coming up very soon. We got lots of work to get done to this thing, the safety stuff. We'll be going over all that real soon. But catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you smash the like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe. See you later. Peace.